Hello, boxing fans, and welcome to Andy's Cavern with me, Jim White. Now, you're all used to seeing me on Talk Sport with Simon Jordan, Spencer the Liquor Oliver, and Gareth A. Davis, aka the Gad. But tonight we've got an array of three people with far more knowledge than any of these numpties that I'm used to spending time with. First of all, we've got Jamie from Porky's Corner fame. Gerry
Hey,
is Magnum Tash from Porky's Corner fame, and Captain Bob from Canada's Boxing Channel. Fame. And if you haven't already, like and subscribe to Canada's Boxing Channel, Andy's Cavern, and Porky's Corner. And here's Andy back in the room.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Porky.
How we doing, lads? Are we all well?
half
Yeah,
coming now.
I'm still laughing about the first video there. And I'm not sure whether what title I should use. Should I say Porky's Angels had a Cobra roast? Or
Where Porky's Hell's Angels at a Cobra roast.
yeah, I like that one.
What was the next topic, Bob? You're the adjudicator tonight.
I knew you'd ask me that. So I'm just going to randomly guess one since I've completely forgotten due to age, incompetence, and advanced early senility. I'm going to ask why the hottest prospect in British boxing, the man who was going to take Mike Tyson's record, but now might actually struggle to equal Herbie Hyde's record, why, after a demolition of Dempsey McCain, is he going back to fight some guy that made the kebab shop owner who fought Delicious Ori look good? Why is he going backwards?
Shocking, isn't it? It's absolutely shocking and hugely disappointing. At one point, he's going to be going for a world title, and the next minute, he's not even going for an area title, is he? Personally, I'd like to see him pursue the British title route, or maybe an English title. Do the full works like well, Fury did that, I think, didn't he? Lennox
Yeah.
Lewis,
Yeah.
go the Commonwealth, European, do the whole lot instead. Now there's no chance of that ship sailed the Mike Tyson record, doesn't it? So he needs to
Yeah.
and win the Lonsdale belt outright. Do it the traditional way. I think that's what he should be doing.
As I had sort of said, obviously we would chat amongst ourselves, but as I had sort of said, the timing's kind of a bit out for that at the minute, but that's basically what I was alluding to, right? You know, well, there's Adelaide, the British champion, line something up with him, but obviously that doesn't fit in with the time frame because Itauma needs an opponent now, and that belt was only fought for last week. So I was just having a little nosy actually about the EBU champion. That could be something to pursue. And to be honest with you, I actually think it would be a walk in the park for him. But at the end of the day, um, it's still the EBU title. So whether it's a walk in the park for him or not, at least he's fighting somebody who's a champion. So I looked it up because I don't know if any of you guys know who is the champion. So it's this guy called Lebanot Zox Haj, and he's a Kosovan. And he fought for the EBU against some fella called Murad Aliyev twice. That looks like, has that happened yet? Yeah, that's happened. And I'm just thinking, there's a guy, 32, 6 foot. Moses could pursue a shot at the EBU title, and it's worth pursuing rather than some guy who made it was just an easy night works night for. Sorry, it was an easy night's work for somebody else previously who's not even on the same levels as Itauma is. Do you know what I mean? So I think what we've been given in terms of Moses Itauma's next opponent is garbage. And I'll tell you something: the person who's going to have this harder to deal with is Moses Itauma himself, because he's going to have to answer anybody that kind of sticks it on him and says, "Well, how come you're fighting this nobody whenever you were talking about like potentially breaking Mike Tyson's world record. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of embarrassing for him. I'm no doubt going to put the blame of that firmly on his team and Frank Warren, etc. So, or is it Francis Warren's managing him?
I think
Francis Warren. Yeah. What did you say the name? What did you say the EBU champion's name? Did you say Leaden Nut?
Labinot.
Oh right, okay, yeah, that would be a good choice. Yeah, why not?
Because there's nothing, we don't know anything about this guy, right? He's 20-0, but the point is he's the EBU champion. So,
and
even
you
if he
get a ranking with the WBC as well. So if they are serious about a world, chasing after world honours, you get a serious ranking with the WBC with the EBU.
Yeah, so even if he is this guy's crap, it's the principle he's going for. At least this guy's got they both fought for Cabiel, who vacated the EBU, so that's now in the possession of this guy. So why not? It's better than this other dude.
Do you know who the Commonwealth champion is, by any chance, Gerry?
Have we look here? You guys talk about there.
The thing that concerns me is we've gone from fanfare and potential uncrowned champion to somebody I've never heard of this guy that he's fighting. Well, I mean, there's a lot of times where we watch fighters and they fight journeymen that we've never heard of, but isn't this guy some former American football player? Like a former NFL player or something like that?
Yeah, he didn't quite make it into the NFL. He was on a squad to be an NFL player. He was a linebacker, but he didn't quite make it to the NFL.
It's ridiculous. It's like someone going, "Oh yeah, he could have been a really good football player, but he's not. He hasn't even made it into the county team. He wasn't even on the bench. He was like first reserve or something like that." To me, it reeks of. There's been something in the interim where maybe he's hiding a bit of glass or something has faltered their unshakable belief in him. And now they're finally halting the train. That is the only reason why, you go from we're gonna try and break the record to
that's very plausible.
Yeah, to we've slowed him down, and then we've pretty much halted him because this guy, he's up there with Jake Paul. Let's face it, Jake Paul's a probably more credible opponent than this guy.
Jake Paul would be. I mean, BoxRec shows this guy is inactive. This guy isn't rated within the top 500. I think Jake Paul has actually got a rating.
Yeah, so what is he hiding then? What's happened with Itauma?
Do you think it's possible Itauma's got a broken hand?
Go ahead, Andy, sorry.
Do you think it's possible Moses Itauma's got a broken hand?
Maybe. That was the excuse they did for Fury, wasn't it? So,
well, I mean, they could get him to fight Delicious Ori. Delicious Ori needs rounds after he fought that minicab driver last weekend. He probably still hasn't bothered to take a shower.
Think he paid the fare?
I know it's not very fashionable to give Anthony Joshua his props, but I think I might have done last time I was on with Russ. It really Delicious Ori's performance last week. In fact, I was talking to you about it, wasn't I, Bob?
Yeah.
I think it paints Joshua in such a better light. Joshua was a destroyer, and Joe Joyce, even though Joe Joyce should have been Olympic gold medalist and Joshua should have been Olympic silver medalist, but Joe Joyce weren't coming out the traps absolutely flying. I mean, he had a good CV to start with, fighting Ian Lewison in his first fight. That's not a pushover. But, Joshua probably could have beaten Lewison, that version of Lewison back then and probably knocked him out. Like, the more you look at Joshua, I know we slate him now, the more impressive he was when he first started. And,
sure.
I mean, I know we're sort of straying off a little bit because we're talking about Itauma, but do you know what I mean? Like, he was let off the lead. And he was. I mean, he'd had 17 fights, hadn't he, when he'd won the IBF? Now,
he was let off the lead to that extent, James, wasn't he? When he he only fought the IBF. title because of who was the
Yeah,
champion.
and I mean, he was obviously hiding glass. He was hiding a glass chin because there were people that had rocked him in sparring, and that Hearn still wasn't afraid to just push him as far as he could push him.
Yeah.
So maybe Joshua has been the lesson, and maybe like I genuinely believe the only reason this fight is happening for Itauma is because something is not being said. Something's been seen, and they're like, right, come on, he's only 20, slow him down.
Yeah, like he could have fought Justice Hooney. He could have fought Michael Hunter. There's a number of names out there which would have been reasonable for Itauma to go in against, right? Like, are they? And even if Itauma takes a loss, so
Could it be to do with money?
Yeah.
If Turkey Al Sheikh's not putting the money into these guys at the moment, could it be a lack of funds to get a bigger name?
Yeah, but there's a bigger name. Like, I don't believe that either, Andy, though, because it's not like this guy's not even an active boxer.
Yeah.
You know, like you could turn around and like you could put him in with David Price, and that'd be more credible than this crap.
Put him in
David,
with
he had a pedigree, didn't
put him in with Johnny Bosch.
he? Yeah, you could. Yeah, well, yeah, be a massacre, wouldn't it?
Right. Sorry, just to jump in there. I can't believe we didn't realize this.
Go
From
on.
what I can see, it looks like Fabio Wardley is the Commonwealth champion.
Is he?
Oh,
He fought for
he won,
Clark.
he won the British and Commonwealth, I guess. And he
Yeah,
relinquished his British, but he's kept his Commonwealth.
Right.
So I can't see who is currently anyone else other than Fabio Wardley. So that would be a hell of a fight. But I don't know about that one.
Even that guy that Dillian White fought last, somebody like that's got a wee bit more credibility than somebody that's inactive. You know, the guy from Africa.
Tete?
Even somebody like that, he wouldn't
Put him
complain
in
too
with-
much compared to what we're getting, you know.
put him in with the guy that Dillian White and Andy Joshua fought. That guy, I can't remember his name. The American.
Well, actually, why not put him in with Gassiev? Is Gassiev still active? Because Gassiev is the guy who knocked out this NFL player. And Gassiev is rated number 9 with I think it's the WBA.
Oh my God.
Gassiev, I said to you as well, Bob, would be.
Yeah, well, that's right. You told me, yeah.
He's not shit. You know, he's obviously a good. He was a good cruiserweight, and you know he fought Usyk. It's put like this. It's a test. It's definitely a test.
Or Michael
You know what I mean?
Hunter. Michael Hunter.
I'm just looking at the IBF now, right? We've got Moses rated number 9. Hooney is rated number 7. Frank Sanchez is rated number 4. Why not put him in against one of those guys? If he's worthy of a number 9 ranking, then why is he going down and fighting somebody who doesn't even have a world ranking?
Well, that's the question, and that is the only credible reason I can think is he's got glass in his chin.
I think you might be right, man, because they've seen something they don't like and they're frightened and they need to build him back up or something.
And as much as people want to have a go at Frank Warren and his team over the years have shown that they are masterful matchmakers. There's no better boxing man for building a career than Frank Warren. Ricky Hatton was guided very, very masterfully. He fought names, but they were just past it, just past their prime, and he became a world champion. So Frank Warren knows exactly what he's doing, and to move from welcome the risks to risk averse is just bizarre. Yeah,
because he could have gone in with Jermaine. What's it? Not Jermaine Franklin.
Yeah, that would be a good night's
That's who I mentioned before, but I couldn't remember the name. The American. Yeah.
Or Jared Anderson. Jared Anderson's coming off a loss against Bako. No, he's had a fight since then, but it was just a rebuild fight.
Yeah. What you're saying, Jamie, is spot on there, because the proof's in the pudding when you compare Eddie Hills to Bricktop Frank Warren. Look at the 5 versus 5. Bricktop wiped the floor.
He did. He's a proper boxing man, isn't he?
Yeah.
Regardless of what you
Gassiev,
think
by
of
the
him,
way.
otherwise he knows his stuff, doesn't
Yeah, he does.
Gassiev, by the way, guys, is only 31. So I actually thought he was older than that.
So
Yeah,
did I.
he? Do you think Michael Hunter would be too risky a fight at this stage for the two?
No,
No, he's
No,
quite a
I
tricky
don't.
fighter, Michael Hunter. Isn't he? But
Well,
then
Hunter
he
thinks
pulls hot and cold, doesn't he?
Hunter thinks he's better though than he is.
Yeah.
And I think he believed his own hype. And for me, Hunter's flushed his own career down the toilet. Whenever
I thought he beat Povetkin personally.
I didn't, but
Didn't you know? Ooh, I thought he was lucky to get Povetkin was lucky to get a draw that night, from what I remember.
I watched it a couple of times, like, but I need to go back and revisit it. But I definitely thought Povetkin won.
All right.
I think people were just surprised, perhaps, at how good. It's one of them ones where they didn't realize how decent Hunter was. But
yeah.
who was that? Thriller? Did he sign with them and basically flush his toilet down the career a bit?
Yeah. Flush his
Thriller,
career
is
down
that
the
who you
toilet,
call
you mean?
yeah, flushed his toilet down the career. I like that.
How many Czech lagers have you had, Gerry? Bloody hell.
What did I say? Oh, fuck, Jesus, sorry.
Flushed his toilet down the career.
He said,
How many beers have you had, Gerry?
He's I think when he signed with them, I think Pulev had a fight for Trilla. That's it. I'm saying it wrong. It's Trilla. When he signed for them, I think he thought he was going to be on for mega bucks, and it sort of backfired on him because they kind of were like a joke, almost joke, novelty promotional thing. Is that right?
They were going to be YouTube's outlet, weren't they? Really, for the
I didn't
YouTube
realize
boxing
that.
freak show sort of thing, wasn't it?
Yeah. It's kind of went. Well, I don't think it's going now, right? It's defunct.
Wasn't Jay-Z involved with that, or am I completely off the mark there? Someone was involved. I mean,
I
what
only
happened with Jay-Z? I mean,
so I don't know.
like his toilet's gone down the career, him. So
His toilet's going down the career. Holy shit!
That's definitely gonna, that and the kebab are now sort of, iconic moments in Porky's Angels shows. His toilet's gone down the career, and kebabbing.
You can see he's had a toilet career.
Yeah, he's had a career toilet. Anyway, back to business.
I mean, in terms of your question there about Michael Hunter, I don't think he's a sexy enough name now.
Yeah.
Not when you're trying to. I mean, that could be a redundant statement when you. I mean, I don't even know the guy's name that Itauma's fighting. I've just seen it, and for what pony is that?
Yeah,
I can't remember. I did a video about it because I was actually, like legitimately annoyed, and I'm thinking, like this is such bullshit, right? Like, and I know the fight's gonna be in Glasgow because I remember Andy was saying he wanted to go and see Moses Itauma, and I'm thinking, it'd be great if you could go and see Moses Itauma with somebody that we at least knew. But he's fighting some guy who's the last guy this NFLer fought had a record of 11, 20, and 5, and he took him the distance.
Mike Balogun.
Right.
Mike Balogun.
What's bizarre though is that he was on TalkSport the other week though.
This guy,
Itauma. So they're obviously not slowing him down in terms of publicity. So why put him in with shit unless there's a problem? I know I keep repeating myself, but
I'm not going to watch him if he's got a broken hand. I'm not paying good money for that.
That's right. Well, it is strange that they've reached so far down to the bottom of the barrel for an opponent. I mean, I definitely think you've got to be able to get somebody better than that guy, even if they are hiding glass, like you say, Jamie. They've got to get somebody better than this guy. This is terrible. Like
unless right, hear me out. Here's another theory. Yeah. Unless this is a supreme warm-up and we are going to get an absolute monster announcement after this fight. All they're doing is keeping him warm.
Yeah, it could be.
And we're going to get some world title shot after that.
Maybe Pulev. Doubtful, though.
Watch this space, Jamie. Watch this space.
Watch this space. But if it's Pulev and it's a WBA regular, I don't want to. Just like I say to Russ, let's not sit there and say, "Oh yeah, that's a world title," because it's not.
No, it's not
It's
a
a
world
bullshit.
title.
It's a bullshit belt. So Russ likes to talk about it and go, "Oh, it's a proper world title." Well, no, it's not. No, it's not. Because if it was,
Effectively,
Aldi Harrison was world heavyweight champion because he was WBF heavyweight champion. So yeah, load of
it's
crap.
effectively it should be the interim belt. Although I believe they have an interim belt as well. That's kind of
It's a joke, isn't it?
Yeah, like the WBA champion is Alexander Usyk.
yeah.
You know, Pulev has a belt which is called regular belt or something, but that just means that he's got a mandatory. He's like the number one contender. The mandatory. If Usyk was supposed to fight somebody, right?
They'll call Usyk the super champion, don't they?
Yeah, they were going to scrap the belt, right? Only what do you call that guy who's from Germany? The guy with the slick hair.
Adolf Hitler.
Oh, Manuel Char.
Manuel Char took the WBA to court because he was due a shot at that belt. And no, actually, he had the belt. I think he had the belt.
He did. Right, Gerry, I think.
Anyway, he took them to court, and basically the belt lived on because WBA promised to scrap it. It's a whole load of nonsense. But yeah, it's a bit of a saga. Hatman kind of covered it.
Who was the other guy? Remember, he was always getting a WBA shot. He'd been inactive for years. I can't remember his name.
Fraser Quendo. Fraser Quendo.
That's right, Jamie. That was another joke for the WBA, wasn't it?
Welcome to the world of the WBA.
Welcome to the world of alphabet titles. Bin the belts. Get rid of them.
Yep.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. Like,
the thing is, the WBA is the longest. It was the first official.
They started as the NBA in 1923. Yeah.
It's the WBA. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with Jamie. Like, scrap all these belts. Like, everybody knows that the number one guy in the heavyweight division is Alexander Usyk. Like, he doesn't need to have these trinkets around his waist.
That's partly because as well that he was allowed the chance to fight for undisputed. Like, there's been periods of time where that's not happened, and then you've got one guy with the IBF, you've got one guy with the WBC, so on and so forth. And it's like, well, who's the real champion then? Do you know what I mean? To outsiders, like, it's kind of annoying. So at least we all know that Usyk is the real heavyweight champion. Do you know what I mean?
Yep, he's a real McCoy.
I think what else it would benefit from is if there was an independent world boxing board of control, you might say, and they could control the rankings, do away with the sanctioning bodies, have maybe even make the ring belt the belt, and have the world boxing board of control, or whatever you want to call it, dealing with all the drug testing, all that kind of stuff, overseeing everything, and they have to be independent and legitimate, so nobody's getting at them, in every way, shape, or form. The referees, the judges all need to be top notch, trained properly, no backhanders or eliminate suspicion of wrongdoing going on. You know what I mean? So,
and it would look after fighters better as well. So if you had a fighter who had a knockout, that fighter wouldn't be able to go somewhere else and get permission to fight, and then we would probably reduce the number of CTE instances in boxing, just like they have in the NFL.
And a percentage of their purse goes towards some form of insurance.
Yeah.
Or some sort of pension. Like Barry McGuigan was going. Barry McGuigan tried setting that up, didn't he, with a professional boxing association or something?
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah,
I wonder if Dana White's new league will see some improvements in those sort of areas.
Well, we live in hope. We live in hope. Hopefully, because Turkey seems to be for the fighters, doesn't he? So maybe so.
He seems to be, yeah.
To me, I don't buy any of this Turkey stuff now. I was hopeful, but now it all seems a bit worrying now that stuff's coming out. The Paulie Malignaggi videos, basically, and then obviously actually it was Bob's videos that brought to my attention first. But to me, that's all kinds of alarm bells going there. It's that's why I would actually have said I agree in the idea of having one belt be the proper belt. And for years, the Ring Magazine belt used to always be placed on the person who pretty much everybody was in agreement was the champion. But nowadays, now that that's run by the Saudis, don't know about that.
Interesting.
I was going to say something. My memory's gone. Am I right in saying? I was going to say, am I right in saying something? Whatever it was, I was going to be saying.
Are you right in saying that the Ring Magazine belt is? Huh?
Am I right? No, am I right in saying that it's Turkey Al Sheikh that's putting on the Eubank Ben fight? I think, wasn't it? It was him that saw
it's Fist of Fury, or what is it called? It's tied in with some video game, isn't it?
Yeah, Fatal Fury.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't like the word fatal when we're talking about boxing, but
no, it was a Sega game, that, and one of my earliest childhood memories was I was bothering my mum constantly. I was like, "Mum, can I play the Sega? Mum, can I play the Sega? Mum, can I play the Sega?" Because I had Fatal Fury, right? I'd just bought it. "Mum, can I play Fatal Fury?" I must have asked her about 50 times, and I remember her shouting down the stairs and going, "There'll be some Fatal Fury if you ask me that again." I've said no. No, listen.
When I listen to you talking, Jamie, I'm reminded of how young you are. Because, of course, my video games, well, video wasn't invented when I was a kid.
No,
of course not. We had no VHS.
I had a Sega Mega Drive.
We didn't even have color TV when I was a kid.
Bloody hell. Back in my day, you had an orange and a blanket for Christmas, didn't you, Bob?
Oh, not a blanket. You had an orange for birthday and a blanket for Christmas. Right.
It's almost like Jamie's taking the piss out of the fact that back in the old days, they had fuck all, whereas
a little bit.
You having a go there, Jamie? What's going on, man?
Speaking about playing fucking Sega, we were lucky if we got to chase the neighbor's dog. You know.
When I was young, most kids had a yo-yo. I only had a bloody yo.
Yeah. Your neighbor had the string, and the neighbor had the string, and you had the plastic, eh?
We made Bob swear on the video. It's brilliant.
Oh yeah, sorry, the F bomber was in the air for a second there.
Sickening.
It's on Andy's channel. The algorithm will catch Andy's channel.
Nightmare.
Bob's roaring off into distance with subscriptions. I see now. The way you're approaching that 1,000, Bob.
Yeah, I'm stuck around 890, 891 or 2. I need people to sign up their dogs and cats and everything like that now. Like to get to 1,000.
I was at that rally today. You know, I sent you videos of the rally cars and that, and I could see your channel disappearing that way in the distance through that dust. Leaving mine behind.
Yeah.
You know, but I flooded the end zone with products, right? I've got like 250 videos up, more than I'm going to try and have 1,000 videos out this year.
I thought you were going to say this month.
How do he shit himself?
I've only done what have I done? 205, I think that's somewhere about that. And I've been going last May.
I'm going to take a hiatus. I'm off on vacation next week, so there'll be a lull.
I'll have to go all out when you're on holiday and try and regain some ground. But being time poor, it'll be a hard job.
You should do one as me. You know, with your imitating skills, you should do one.
Brilliant idea.
Welcome to Canada.
I'll need to get a face mask. You know, you can get the cardboard face mask. I'll get a picture. I'll send you the videos when you're away. So you put them up.
Get one of them Scooby-Doo masks, and he can come over and pull it off your face. I would have gotten away with it too if there hadn't been a few pesky kids.
Those pesky kids.
Those pesky kids.
Oh,
I know.
Gotta get away with it.
What's left on the agenda, lads?
Jim White's
Well,
gone away home. Haven't you, Jim?
Oh,
Away home.
I hear through the grapevine that Ben Shalom is gone belly up at Sky. Is there any truth to that? Have you guys heard anything about that?
no,
That
but
is,
Ross speculated that.
that's on the rumour mill. And was it Russ that speculated that?
Well, he spoke to me about. He asked me not the last video, but the previous videos. He asked me what do I think is going on, and well, yeah, I can see. I actually said this about a year ago as well. I could see Eddie Hearn snapping that contract back up again, but basically he was talking about it then, so it must be lingering in the air that that's gone belly up for him. But what have you heard, Bob?
Go on, Bob. Sorry.
No, I wasn't speaking. Somebody was imitating me. I wasn't speaking. My lips didn't move.
No, I can see a new company coming in. Just like Ben Shalom did when he was a new kid on the block. But don't be surprised if that new company has something like a Caniel Dinahan or something like that at the top of his CEO list. Trying to get back in.
I want to see you a kind of headdress on, Jamie, and a crystal ball making predictions.
Yeah, well,
Jamie.
I was right. I was sort of half right about the the Turkey Al Sheikh situation. I didn't turn around and say Dana White was coming in, but I can see things in the distance. Boxing's quite easy to predict, isn't it, and work out. And I think, personally, I'm saying this as me, not as Andy's boxing channel, but personally, I think that Kinahan is something to do with Gold Star.
Oh yeah, I can see
and
that.
That's me talking as Jamie, not as Andy's boxing channel. Andy's Cavern, by the way.
Jamie, you'll be selling pegs and reading tea leaves before long.
I'll be a dead man if I keep saying things about Daniel Kinahan.
Jamie,
I'll be drip dried, mate.
You took the words right out of my mouth, mate. After I watched that documentary the other night, want to watch yourself with those type of people? Like,
I know.
You know more about it than me, though.
Well, I wouldn't say I know about it. I'm an avid reader of it. Like, I know, I love it. Well, it's not Northern Ireland, is it? But I love Northern Ireland. I've got family in Northern Ireland, and a byproduct of that is, you learn about the Republic as well, don't you? So
it's only down the road, mate.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd just like the record to show that I know nothing about any of these subjects, and I think that they're all wonderful people, and that I live in Canada. I'm a long, long way away, and nobody cares what I think. Just so if there's any argy-bargy, and that applies to the Saudis as well, by the way.
I'm the same, Bob. I'm the same as you, Bob. I know nothing about anything. I know nothing.
Yeah.
I know nothing.
Bob, you're probably the safest. So if you want to bitch and moan about those guys, you can.
I'm not Bob. I'm already in a wheelchair, so what's the worst you can do? Carry on.
All I know is you should like, subscribe, and leave a comment below.
All right.
That's all I know.
Good stuff.
Yeah, Andy, I don't even know who these guests are on your channel. I don't even know what I'm doing here either. I was told to come onto this channel by Anthony.
Mr. Porky?
Who are these people? I know nothing. Who am I?
You're not the Andy I know.
Aberdeen Andy.
Yeah, exactly. You're from Perth, so you're not the Andy I know.
Not from Aberdeen. It's funny, as a guy I know from Pitlochry, he's going, you're from Pitlochry, Andy, but his name's Keith. How you doing, Keith? But Keith now lives in a place north of Scotland called Keith. So I call him Keith now. I don't know if he likes that or not. He's a good guy, Keith, though. So I'll give him a shout out.
Well, he's famous now.
He's probably pissed off that you call him that.
You've now embarrassed this poor guy internationally, across the entire YouTube universe, that there's Keith from Keith. and the guy's he might be under witness protection for all we know. What he was,
And you have just ruined it. You've just ruined it, Andy.
The thing is, he's not actually from Keith. But he's a good guy and he's got a good sense of humour. So,
And I'm getting really confused.
we hope so.
or I wouldn't be saying this if he didn't. So I think we've got less than a minute, so we'll better wrap it up.
Okay, let you do your outro.
Just thank everybody for watching, and like and subscribe to Bob's channel, my channel, and Porky's Corner, as you'll probably see us all in there. So it's good night from them, and it's good night from me. Good night.
Good night.
Take it easy, lads. Pleasure.
Pleasure.
Pleasure as always.
All the best, guys.